Hello again. Um, Today I'm going to be showing you how to create contour lines. Remember, for the assignment you needed to create 6 drawings, essentially using the contour command. Essentially you will be making an elevation on the left side and on the right side, followed by 4 individual drawings throughout the model. And this is just another method of actually trying to create or a section, if you will. But we're going to be using the contour line to achieve that output. So let's begin. Okay, so what I need to do is establish a section going in the X direction and in the Y direction. The best way to do this is to go ahead and create 2 new layers. And I'm actually just going to take all these guys and drop them in there because I don't need them. So this new layer will be called section 1, and this will be section Y. This will be X. I'm going to change the color there and change it to red. Then select my model, type in contour. You notice over here it says contour plane base point. So what you need to do is determine the base point, and then notice it's the direction says direction perpendicular to contour plane. Remember, you want to go in the X direction. If we look at the coordinate to your left, we'll see X is to my right, so I need to do that. Click to my right, click. Then if you look at the instructions, it says distance between 2 contour lines. My distance, we know that my cube is from 0 to 10, 0 to 10 in both the X and Y direction, 0 to 10 in the Z direction. So to create 6 drawings, essentially this side, this face, that face, and then 4 more on the inside, it needs to be divided to 2. So the distance must be 2. So type in 2 enter and wait for Rhino to proceed. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Once I have achieved the drawings, I can then move them out of the way. Turn off my model. And if you notice really quick, Rhino tends to create additional drawings off to the side. The reason why this is so is, I think, the model, because it's not all of the objects were not Boolean, it's going to create sectional drawings and then sort of explode them. So what I need to do is delete the extra stuff. And then zoom in on the drawings. Go to my top view and select those drawings. If you look at our perspective, when I'm selecting the top view, I'm actually selecting the first set of drawings and then group them. I need to continue this process for all 6. I then need to select them, type in rotate. In my perspective, I need to click a base point, go to my front view, click north of the drawing, move to the right. See, we see in the perspective all my drawings are now laying flat. The top view, we see it's laid as flat. So then I need to select the 4 drawings below, the 5 drawings below, and begin to move them so that they're on the same ground plane. As so. I need to continue this process. For the rest of the drawings. And notice this process should go a little bit faster because all you're doing is moving it to the same ground plane. And then you're moving it over. So when I go to my top view, I will see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now all of these drawings need to be on the section X, which they are. Then I also need to remember that this was my first one on the face, on the facade, or the surface facing the east direction. So if we turn the model back on, this face that's selected is this face, the west side, sorry, while the last one is the one showing the east direction. So we need to make sure that everything is in order. And then we need to go to each one, which I'm just going to select all of them, and type an ungroup. And remember, for this exercise, we just want to delete the extra lines inside, because we just want to retain the perimeter to define that sort of section. I've decided to move my drawings to the right because this green line, this axis, is kind of distracting my view from these lines. I need to see all my detail before I go and do anything else. I'm going to go through and delete all the miscellaneous lines that I no longer need. And this may take a little while. Just pay attention to the borders. Make sure you don't select something that you may need later on. First one. Once you get the hang of it, it should go fairly quickly, because you're just taking stuff and deleting them. Well, the miscellaneous line work. Again, we do not need to see them anymore, so we can get rid of them. Now if you notice, I also have some voids here, and solid, solid. Here I have a void, so I need to continue deleting information accordingly, making sure not to delete a certain perimeter. But when we look here, we have a line missing. Sometimes it'll do that. Just simply draw another to connect it. And there's the second one. The first one, or the third one, there's a void right here, so just simply delete the line that's around it. Set of lines here. We have a void right in here, so we have to make sure we don't do anything to disturb that. Continue to move up. The third one is now done. Moving into the next set. I don't need that. And then the last one. Making sure that nothing is deleted. Oop. Here's I have another one. Continue this process till everything has been somewhat connected. The voids are good. And then we're going to go through, and if you notice, sometimes when I select on one or two lines, I may have some duplicate lines in there. So what I need to do, remember, I'm going to type in SELDUP, and I do have duplicate lines. You see that? I need to delete those. so that everything is good to go. I should not have any other issues. That needs to go away. So I have all my sections, and you're going to do this for the X and Y direction. But because I'm just going to show you one direction, I'll just go and create a double, so that to show you that you need 12 drawings, 6 going in the X, 1 going in the Y, or 6 going in the Y. Then you'll take everything, you'll scale it, type in scale, and scale it by we'll do 0.1. The reason why we're doing it by 0.1 so that it will fit on the 11 by 17 board, like so. Move them into position like that, and there's your first set, or second set, first and second. You need to go in and properly label them. Maybe the left is the X direction and the Y will be the right column. Then you need to continue and create a plan showing the X and the Y directional, showing the sections in which they're being cut through the model. This is a good way to indicate how your sections are being directed. So you need to get used to this sort of process for architecture. Generally, it tells us where on the plan that section is being drawn. It's essentially the same thing what we're doing for this project. So turn on that model again. For this one, I just need to have the last one turned on, like this. And I'm just going to select it, type in make 2D, hit OK, move it out of the way, turn everything else back on, turn that off, minimize that. Then I'm going to scale it down, probably to like 0.1 or so, move it back into the layout, and then I'm going to create these sort of section cuts, right? Just like that. I actually want this to be grouped, so I don't touch it. Okay. And then I need to go through, and here's that plan. I need to go and draw a line, and then indicate text. To insert text, type in text, and then A. I think this is 0.01. Oh. Rotate it, move it. So however that's going to be. And then until you get something like this. You need to start from one side being A, B, C, D, and the other one to be A, apostrophe B, apostrophe C, apostrophe D. You do this for the X direction, then you do one for the Y direction. For the Y direction, you indicate it by doing E, F, G, H, E, apostrophe, F, apostrophe, G, and H, apostrophe. You take all of these drawings, and you move them into place. Trying to keep everything clean. And there it goes. Just like that. Until you get to something to where we get something like this. So this is the X, this is the Y. Go through and label them, your section cuts accordingly. A to A apostrophe, E to E apostrophe, B to B apostrophe, F to F apostrophe, and so forth, so on. And then these two would be elevations, and these two would be elevations. So you would label those correctly. You position all of your drawings together as such onto the one board and show an interior, and the other board showing your exterior, with lines being extruded from the surface and all directions. Okay. So this concludes the contour and section cuts. Hopefully this will help you a little bit. Thanks for watching.